This is a photograph of the front of La Colina Junior High School's campus. Built in 1959, La Colina is a suburban school situated on the edge of the city of Santa Barbara. In the photograph, you can see the library windows on the left side. First, a little bit about the library. The La Colina Junior High School mission is to provide materials and instruction that support district, state, and national curricula and standards, to offer equal access to quality, culturally diverse collections in an enriched environment, to empower students and staff to use information effectively and responsibly, and to prepare students to be lifelong learners. La Colina Junior High School has almost 950 students in grades 7 and 8. There are 46 classroom teachers, including a teacher librarian, and there are also 3 administrators, 2 academic counselors, paraprofessionals, student teachers, parents, office assistants, and custodians. There are 13,000 books, which averages about 15 per student, and a host of technology. Classes visit on a flexible schedule, and students can drop in before school, at lunch, or after school. The library community includes the student patrons and the library staff. That's teacher librarian Amy Woods and librarian technician Donna Boussolet. The La Colina Junior High Library is located in the city of Santa Barbara, California, where the demographics are roughly 44% white and 42.6% Latino. The school demographics are reflective of the community, with almost 49% white and 40% Latino students. About 30% of the school community is in the low socioeconomic subgroup, 10% are enrolled in special education, and 30% are currently learning English. Of course, there is a lot of overlap among those subgroups. The La Colina Junior High School Library is very busy. It's booked on a flexible schedule. Almost all the slots are filled with the classes. The drop-in times before school, at lunch, and after school are also very well attended. However, there are some barriers that might keep potential patrons from using library services. Those barriers are limited space, varying classroom teacher motivation to collaborate or spend class time on digital and information literacy. Rules such as no video games during drop-in time and no eating keep kids out of the library and in the quad instead. And perhaps some library patrons would like the library to be open earlier or stay open later. The library staff has tried to address the patron gap by extending the hours to 4 p.m. The extended hours are staffed by a teacher volunteer who is paid with special funding. They allow video games on Friday afternoons and board games anytime. After school, the PTSA brings snacks, which kids eat outside. And 2 years ago, they doubled the library space by taking over part of what used to be the reference room and library storage. The librarian collaborates with teachers to create lessons aligned to standards. Currently, these standards include the Common Core State Standards, the Next Generation Science Standards. The Santa Barbara School District has adopted the ISTE standards for teachers, students, and administrators, ISTE standing for the International Society for Technology and Education. And they have also adopted Alan November's Transformational 6 questions. Alan November is a tech guru and consultant who has 6 criteria for tech-savvy, future-ready teachers in lesson design. And then we also have the English Language Development Standards for California. The librarian highlights her collaborations on the Virtual Learning Commons, where the lesson, the digital connections, and the tools needed are showcased for staff and students. Some of her most successful collaborations include Outsider Stations with English Language Arts. Those are stations where students study the setting of The Outsiders, what life was like in the early 1960s, and a little bit about the author, S.E. Hinton. There is a huge school-wide project called Walk Through the Middle Ages with Social Studies. science fair projects, and the Spanish country projects. Now for the state of technology at La Colina Junior High, much of which is facilitated or hosted by the librarian. Currently, the library hosts 20 Chrome-based computers, 2 Chromebook carts with 36 laptops each, 2 iPad carts with 36 tablets each, open Wi-Fi access, filtered internet access, student Google Drive accounts, and a virtual learning commons with databases, ebooks, and connections. In the next 1 to 3 years, the librarian anticipates 2 more Chromebook carts with 36 Chromebooks each, coming to 148 total for the school. The district one-to-one initiative for student iPads, so every student should have an iPad that he or she carries with them. And then, therefore, she will increase the subscription and ownership of ebooks and increase connections on the virtual learning commons. The current collection map shows the library owns 13,000 items, which averages about 15 books per student. General fiction takes up the majority of the owned collection, with the next biggest category being social studies and history. Biographies come in at 8%, which could possibly be built up and modernized since several of the titles are quite old. This year, the teacher librarian stocked several print magazines for students to read in the library or to check out back issues. Here are some of the most popular titles. When the school district implements the planned one-to-one iPad adoption, these subscriptions will probably be digitized. Digital connections are housed in the library's virtual learning center. These connections include research and databases, tutorials and help for research, tools for creating and collaborating, and games and puzzles for fun. Right now, 97% of the collection is in print form, but again, the librarian anticipates this changing when the school district goes one-to-one. For now, databases and other connections are available 24/7 on the Virtual Learning Center. The special collections that the librarian wants to continue building are materials for science fair projects and the school-wide Walk Through the Middle Ages project. She also wants to build the fiction based on student requests, including current favorites like dystopian, action-adventure, supernatural, and romance. The stars note the current quality of the special collections. Science fair resources are rated the lowest because they become out of date so quickly.